What's up, guys? Welcome back to question 3. If you have been struggling with functions, especially exponent and parabola, please watch this video. I am Gaston Mapala, an engineer by profession, and thank you for choosing mathematics. Now let's have a look at this question. It was question 3 on November 2020. I think this was a Gauteng paper, and then it says here the graph of f of x. Okay, yes, the graph of f of x is given by ax squared plus q, and the g of x is given by 3 over x minus 1, where x is greater than 0 and is drawn below. All right, we see it here. Let's have a look. And then they've given us this is f of x marked here. It is a parabola, and then g of x is an exponent thereof. All right, and then let's say they say a is an x-intercept and turning and point of intersection of both graphs. Where is a? Here is a, here it's a point of intersection and also an x-intercept. Right, and then they said b, it is given by this coordinates here. B is given by 0:9, and then is the turning point of f, which is the parabola, and then CD is a vertical line. So this CD here is drawn. It is a vertical line. There it is here. Right, and then let's go ahead and start with 3.1. 3.1 says write down the following. 3.1.1, it says the range of f. Range of f, in this case we are referring to the y values. All right, so basically when we say range, we're asking you to find out or they're asking us rather to find out what is the values of x for which the graph exists, for which the graph is drawn. So if you take a look at from this point here, which is 9, going down all the way to infinity, this parabola graph does exist. Therefore you are going to say here y is the element of all real numbers where y has to be greater or equal to 9. Okay, there you go, and you will just therefore state it like that. Okay, and then moving along, let's say domain refers to the x values. All right, so domain is referring to the x values. Then basically what they're asking us here is to say for which values of x does the graph of g exist. Where is the graph of g? The graph of g is here. We see it going all the way down, all the way down, but it turns here. It will never touch this point. Okay, so for which values of x, so starting from 0 going all the way that side on the x values, it means this graph exists. So therefore it means x will be the element of all real numbers where x has to be greater than 0. Be careful, in this case it doesn't have to be greater or equal to, because we don't have a y-intercept on this graph. This graph does not touch the y-axis. All right, so therefore we will just write it like this. But you might say, your teacher might say as well, say to us that, okay, what are you saying? You are saying this graph exists from, you can also write it like this, is also allowed using a different notation. You can say from 0 going all the way to infinity, this graph does exist. Okay, so it's going from 0 all the way to positive infinity, because it's starting from 0 here going all the way that side. You would have this graph, it does exist. But if you were to go this side, this graph does not exist. All right, okay, so moving right along, let's move to 3.1.3. said write down the equation of horizontal asymptote of g. So they want us to write down the horizontal asymptote of g. So if you have a look at the g graph horizontal asymptote, it is written there. It is what are we referring to? We're referring to a horizontal line where the graph of g does not touch. So it is this one here written in a dotted line. So what we do to find this one here, what would you do to find this one, this graph here? What we can do in this case, we can go have a look at the graph of G. The graph of G is given by, excuse me, we can have to go find the graph. The equation of G of x is given by G of x is equals to 3 over x minus 1, where this is what, where this is generally it is normally good. This equation was given to us in this format, rather, in this format 1 over x 3 it equals to minus 1, where this is what, this is PQ. All right, so therefore you can get the line of asymptotes will therefore be this number here, which is Q. So therefore y is equals to -1 would be our line of asymptotes. All right, so they said now we have to find the values of x such that f is decreasing. All right, so got a very nice way of explaining this one here. I hope I'm not moving too fast for you guys. Leave a comment on the comment section below if to help me improve these lessons. If you don't understand, let me know as well. I will also do my best to repeat what you don't understand on a different video. Okay, so now let's have a look at this one. It says 3.1.4, the values of x for which. So imagine you are here, you are sitting here on an airplane. Okay, I'm gonna try to draw an airplane there. There you go, on an airplane here. So this airplane takes off in the this is the airport. This plane takes off from the airport, going all the way up on the runway, up on the runway. So if you are here, what is this plane doing? You would say to me that no, it is increasing in speed when it's moving like that, right? So it means now here what is happening, the f of x graph is increasing. So at some point when it reaches a certain altitude at 9, it would therefore decrease. Can you see? It's going back to the airport here, airport B. Here I can write airport B is going to land here. So it moved from airport A with increasing in speed, therefore when it lands it needs to decrease the speed. So for which values of x is f of x decreasing? You can just see that when it's starting from 0 going all of the way that side, this graph is decreasing. So therefore you would say for the values of x for which f of x is greater than 0, this graph is decreasing. So it means here the graph is what, is decreasing. Okay, just use that concept, guys. If you're going up, starting from the bottom, when you're going up you're increasing in speed, when you go down you are decreasing the speed. All right, hope you guys understand that. So moving right along, let's move to 3.2. 3.2 says determine the values of a and q. A and q, they are right here in this graph here. So let's come here and say 3.2. all right, 3.2 f of x, this is 3.2, f of x is equals to ax squared plus q. All right, so now let's have a look at this one. What do we have here? We have the y-intercept there. Y-intercept, we get it when x is equals to 0. So here we go, I tried that one there. We get the y-intercept when x is equals to 0. So therefore in this case f of x is equals to a0 squared plus q. All right, great stuff. So now in this case, as we can see, I hope you guys are following. For those of you that are new on this channel, please make sure that you subscribe to this channel. All right, so now, oh no, I made a mistake. When f of x is equals to 0, the coordinates of b. When x is 0, x, this is x, y is equals to 9. Okay, therefore 0 times a is going to give us 0 plus q is equals to 9. Therefore it means q is equals to 9. All right, great stuff. So now we did find q. We need to look for one value where we can find our e. Okay, but if you have a look at on this graph, you've got a point a there that is also existing on g of x. So therefore it means in this case we can therefore use g of x to find the coordinates of e. I hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying. So I'm saying here it's a x-intercept. So on g of x is equals to 3 over x minus 1, we need to find out this is it's occurring when what? This occurs when y on x-intercept. X-intercept, we get it when y is equals to 0. So therefore y is equals to 0. In this case we've got 3 over x minus 1. So we take 1 to the other side, is going to give us positive 1, 3 over x. Therefore we cross multiply here to look for x. This is as good as 1 over 1. So therefore x is equals to 3. Therefore this means coordinates of a will be given to us by 3 is to 0. So with that we can go back to our graph here and substitute that, because we already have q. So on f of x it means now this is where we are. On f of x we are going to have ax squared plus 9. So we are going to have y is 0. When y is equals to 0, it means x is equals to 3. Then we substitute 3 there, plus 9. Therefore it means now you're gonna come and say take this 9 to the other side. You're going to have negative 9 there. It's equals to a times 3 squared, which is equals to 9. So you divide everything by 9 in this case, and then therefore the value of a would have to be equal to negative 9 divided by a positive 9 will give us negative 1. So that's all they ask us. They never ask us to find the equation, but for the sake of understanding, therefore it means the equation for f of x is equal to a is negative 1 is going to be a squared. Then we're going to have 9 plus 9 here. There you go, positive 9. Right, great stuff. So now let's move on to 3.3. okay, 3.3. I'm going to use a different color here because my workspace is a bit messy, so that you guys can see the difference. So 3.3, in this case they are saying if h of x is equals to negative f of x minus 3, write down the equation of h. So basically guys, if they give you something like this, okay, let me see, this is 3.1, then this is 3.3, not to get you guys confused here. So if they give you something like this, they're saying h of x is equals to negative f of x minus 3. So they want us to write down the equation of h. So what you should do in this case, you must go and look for this function f of x, then come and substitute it here exactly the way they're asking you guys, because they're giving you the definition basically. So we're going to have negative, what is f of x? F of x is this whole thing here. We just did it on the previous question, that f of x is equals to negative x squared plus 9. So you're gonna come and put negative x squared plus 9 here, the way it is guys, with the negative everything minus 3. So therefore if you can see basically here, what we do, we're gonna multiply by a negative all the terms that are here. So let's go, x negative 1 times negative is going to give us positive. So therefore it's going to be positive x squared, negative times positive 9, negative 9, and then minus 3. Therefore this leaves us with h of x as being equals to x squared minus 12. Great. Now they're saying to us at I hope you understood what I said here, guys. Just follow the definition and therefore simplify. All right. 3.3.2. 3.3.2, the coordinates of the turning point of H. All right. So now if you have a look at the previous function, okay, have a look at the previous function, what we see here is just that this value, which is here, guys, I hope you can see where I'm writing, just became the turning point. All right. So even in this case, this value here should become the turning point to make our life easy. So our turning point in this case will just have to be equals to 0 and 12. Okay. Right. So, but however, let's say maybe you wanted to calculate it, you're not sure if you can do it like this. I hope you guys don't think that this is a negative here. Is 0 is to 12. So you can use this equation here, x minus b over 2a. So now where you know from your function that it is given by x squared plus b plus a plus bx plus c, right? I'm not sure if I'm writing out of the screen there. You guys will let me know on the comment section below. So where b is a value that is closer to x, so in this case we don't have b, and then we do have a there. Okay, yes, we don't have b in this case. So in a question like this one, this formula wouldn't work. Yeah, no, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. All right. So in this case, it's not going to work that you use this formula. This formula will only work if you've got something like this. I think if you have a look at some of the other videos on the function, I do show how would you use a question, this formula to find the turning point. This only helps you to find the x coordinate. Oh, I think it should work. Okay, let's try it. I think it should, okay. The only way to find out is to try it. Okay, guys, if you're not sure about something, rather write it down and try it out like I'm doing here. If it's not correct, it's not correct, it's fine. But if it's correct, we'll check and I will let you know. All right, so let's come here and say it's equals to b. In this case, we don't know what is b, so therefore b is 0 because this equation does not have b. All right, so all over 2 a, let's see here, a is what? It's equals to 1, so therefore our x would be 0. Okay, so what you do here after finding the x value, you take this x value, you substitute it into the equation. Okay, you take it back and substitute it into the equation. So already I can see that I made a mistake here. This is supposed to be negative 12. This is supposed to be negative 12 here, because here it was positive 9, there is negative 12. So if you take this one, you go to h, then you substitute 0 squared minus 12. It means what? Our y values will just be negative 12. Therefore your turning point will have to be 0 is to negative 12. Okay, and that's how you would do it, guys, in this fashion. If you've got a question, let me know, and let me know where you have a question. Like for an example, if you have a question on the one that we just did now, you would say on the comment section, say in question 3.3.2 I don't understand where you got the 0 or where you got the minus 12. All right, so let's move on to 3.4. Great. 3.4 here says write down the equation of line of symmetry of G which has a positive gradient. Okay, so in this case, guys, when they ask you for the line, they normally ask you for the line of symmetry. So this line of symmetry uses the turning point. Immediately when they say line of symmetry, just know that this thing uses a turning point coordinates. Okay, so it uses the turning point coordinates. That's first thing that you need to know. And then the second thing that you need to know about this, that there's two of them of this equation. like here they said with positive gradient. So you have got one with a positive gradient, then you have got one with a negative gradient. Okay, so how do you deal with these ones? The general formula for the one with a positive gradient is given by y is equals to x with a positive gradient plus c, and then the one with a negative gradient is given by y is equals to negative x plus c. Okay, so therefore what do you do in this case? So I'm only gonna do the one with a positive gradient. We go and look for the equations of line of asymptotes. Oh, no, what did I say here? No, it doesn't use the turning point, rather making a terrible mistake, guys. It uses the line of asymptote. Apologies for that, guys. It uses line of asymptotes, right? Okay, so what is the line of asymptotes here in this case? The line of asymptotes here in this case is this one that is here given by y is equals to -1 for this graph of G. Okay, so now line of asymptote is y is equals to -1, so it means y is -1, x is equals to 0. Therefore it means that our c value will have to be -1. Therefore it means our equation will be given by y is equal to x minus 1. Okay, and that's how you will deal with the function like this one, where they are asking you to find the line of symmetry using lines of asymptote, not turning point. Initially I had said turning point, but it's not the turning point, guys. It is the line of asymptotes, rather. All right, so with that, let's move right along. Moving to 3.5. 3.5 says here we need to 3.5 said calculate the length of DC. We need to calculate the length of DC. Calculate length DC, which is this part here. They're asking us to calculate this part here from these two points here, D and C. And then if the equation of CD is x is equals to 1. So if the equation is x is equals to 1, therefore this means to us our x value here is 1, then we don't know the y value, and then similar here our x value is 1, because when you go straight up, guys, the only thing that is changing here is the y coordinates. X coordinates is 1, it will remain the same. All right, so now we just have to go and look at our respective functions and see what can we do there. Let's see 3.5. okay, so what do you have? You have got coordinate c, which is 1 is to y. You are looking for the y value, and then coordinate c, what do you found it? You are finding it in the f function. All right, so therefore you take the equation of the f function, which is x squared, no, which is negative x. The function was what? Was negative x squared plus 9. All right, I think I'm correct. Yes, I am. All right, so now we're saying what happens when x is equals to 1. What is the y value when x is equals to 1? Then you substitute the 1 into the equation. Therefore 1 squared will give us 1. So it means here in this case you're going to have what? Minus 1. Remember, guys, the minus 1 is outside the square, so don't put it inside the square, it is outside. Okay, so plus 9. So 9 minus 1 is going to give us 8. Therefore it means coordinates of c, they're 1, they're given to us by 1 is to 8. And then therefore you go look for the y coordinates of d. D is in which equation? It's in g of x. G of x was given to us as g of x is equals to 3 over x minus 1. Okay, so now we are looking for when g of x is equals to 1, what is the y value? So in this case you substitute x as 1, so 3 divided by 1 is going to be 3, minus 1 is going to give us 2, so therefore g of x is equal to 2. Therefore this means D is the coordinates of D. I'm writing something else here. The coordinates of D is 1:2. Right, great stuff. So now with that you can come here and say, let's substitute them here. These coordinates, just make a space for myself, is 2, and then here they were saying it's 8. So the distance between the two will just be the difference. To remove this part out, okay, so it means now the length of CD, okay, let me rather write this side for the sake of space. Is length of CD is going to be equals to y coordinate of C, which is 8, minus that coordinate of D, which is 2. So therefore the length of CD is going to be equals to 6. Because they didn't give you the units, guys, you just have to say 6 units. All right, that's how it's just going to be the difference between the two. All right, why am I saying that? If you have a question like that one, why am I saying that? I'm saying that because from here, this point here, going all the way to C, it's 8. Then from here to D is 2. So in order for you to find the in between, this distance here, you just have to take out these 2 here from the whole distance of C. I hope that is clear. So now let's move on to 3.6. 3.6, it says here, when f of x, like I said earlier, guys, on the previous question here, if they give you a definition, please substitute your function the way it is. So they're saying here f of x, they give you f of x. What is f of x? F of x is given, it was given to us by my negative x squared plus 9. So you are gonna put it here, therefore you simplify, because they are asking you determine the values of x such that f of x is greater than x plus 3. So you're going to take everything to one side. We're going to have negative x squared plus 9. You take this one that side, negative x, and then negative 3 as well, greater than 0. Now we just have to simplify further. You're going to have negative x squared, and then you're going to have negative x there, and plus 9 minus 3 is going to give us plus 6 is greater than 0. Then you divide everything by negative 1. Divide everything by negative 1. Guys, you will know the golden rule when it comes to inequality. Here, if you divide by negative, if you divide by a negative number, which is in this case we're dividing by negative 1, your inequality sign must change and face the other way. If it was greater, it will become less. If it was less, it will become greater. Let me say that again. If you are dealing with inequality signs and then you divide by a negative number, your inequality sign would change. If it was greater, it would become less. If it was less, it will become greater. All right, so let's apply that here in this case. So x squared, then you're going to have positive x, then you're going to have negative x. The inequality sign would change because we have divided by everything by negative 1, so it's going to be less than 0. Okay, now the last thing that we need to do now is just to solve for x. All right, now we just have to look for factors that when you multiply them together they give you negative 6. Okay, so x squared, no. Ooh, forgetting to factorize here. Thank you guys for correcting me. X, so what do we have? You're gonna have positive 3 here and then minus 2. So guys, if you're lost here, you're not sure of how to factorize, please make sure that you check on this channel. We do have a lot of examples when it comes to factorization, and we do them step by step. Factorize by dots, factorize by common factor, factorizing trinomial, factorizing fractions, grouping, all of them, guys. We do have them here. Please go there and check them out, because if you're here by now, I'm expecting that you should be able to master, or you should have mastered a factorization. But it's not a train smash. If you're not understanding what I did here, let me know on the comment section below. So guys, you all know when it comes to inequality, we need to draw a number line. There we go. Oh, I'm running out of space here. On course here. Okay, so now for which values of x, oh sorry, I think I'm gonna just write it up here, né? Okay, I'm just gonna put it here, guys. I'm gonna put it here because I'm out of space there. You're gonna have to write critical values. X is equals to 2 or x is equals to -3. So then you put the -3 this side, the 2 this side, then you put that. So now you ask yourself, if you were to substitute -4, which value will you get? Will you get a value greater or a value less? So in this case, you are going to get a value that is greater than -3, which is a positive number. So therefore it means that our line is going that side, and therefore if you were to substitute a number less than or greater than, what are they saying? Oh, less than. If you were to substitute a number that is less than, that is less than 2, you will find out, let's substitute 3 rather, no, let's use greater. You will find out that the values will, therefore you will get a number that is negative, so your values will be less. So therefore it means our x values is going to be x is what? Is greater than -3, or x is what? Is less than 2. And that's how you would deal with a question like this one, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment. Let us know that how can we better our mathematics and how can we better this channel. I am Gaston Mapala. Let me see you on the next upload where we'll be doing question 4. I think question 4 is also on function, so you might want to watch that video. I'm gonna link it up here on this video. If you click now, you will be able to go to question 4.